Lobster Magnet. Lobster's a 10, I told you grab it.
Wubba lubba. Dub dub.
Welcome to
totally
Lobster Magnet.
discuss this. Just the fuck up.
Welcome to Lobster Magnet's Review the Channel. I'm here with my buddy Gorogregoro.
Yo, what's up?
And my other buddy Zavule.
Evening, folks.
And we are here to discuss Rick and Morty, The Return of the Vindicators, episode 4 of the 3rd season. So, guys, what did you think of, Dan Harmon's takedown of the Avengers / Guardians of the Galaxy? Because I personally was a little disappointed. I thought this was the weakest episode of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know about that.
I feel like at this point he is literally just animating angry rants he has had in the middle of Harmontown. I could always see Harmon's fingerprints all over everything, because of course he's the writer. But you could always see his fingerprints all over the series before. But now it's just sweet fucking Jesus.
Well,
I'm trying to is this your suicide note, or are you just this mentally unbalanced right now?
I feel this episode was kind of just a rant of how much he hated the superhero genre.
And boy, howdy is he bringing in his own drunk experiences. The fact that he had Rick shit himself
in the middle of it, and then
that was my favorite part of the whole
oh my god,
episode.
that is not okay.
What were you saying, Greg?
That was my favorite part of the whole episode.
God.
Finding Rick he's sitting with his ass up with shit all over the council room.
I guess that sort of ties into my core disappointment, is that I wanted the Vindicators to be a little bit more than just sort of gag characters, because they were all designed to be really stupid, I am a million ants, I have lost 400 ants, now I'm back to a million ants. And most of them are really, or Crocubot, and the episodes that are fun, Rick is an unlikable, likable protagonist, and it's always fun when he's pitted against something else, the episode with whatchamacallit, the devil, or when he meets the other asshole scientist who creates a universe in a universe. Those are amazing, and just to see basically the way I view it is if Rick was tossing one-liners and sarcastic remarks at the interdimensional TV, improv characters, it would just feel mean and vindictive versus his sort of weird appreciation sort of attention towards him. So just hearing him crack against characters that are mainly designed to be stupid, just to me felt like it was watching kicking a puppy. I was so excited for the possibility of oh my god, we're gonna have a Star-Lord guy, and then he's gonna be quipping and drunken, and he's gonna basically take down Star-Lord, and then him and Rick are gonna have at it. And there was a small indication of that where Morty's telling the Star-Lord guy, oh well, Rick says that good and evil are just artificial constructs, and he says, and then he just looks at Rick, who shit on the table, and he says, yeah, I think he needs that to let him get himself through the day.
That's an interesting point, Isaac. I think him throwing quips at these poorly designed superheroes is kind of it's almost like a cheap shot.
I mean,
Really?
it's a straw man, but it's a funny straw man.
It is a fun. I just wanted the straw man. The devil is great. We've all seen those stupid cursed storylines, and seeing Rick take on the devil with science was amazing and hilarious. It's I guess I don't have much against straw man. I just stronger. Straw
Okay,
man.
that wasn't quite a straw man, because that is literally Leland Gaunt from Needful Things. If Rick hadn't wandered into that and started just breaking shit, that's exactly how that would have gone. So the thing is, that is part of the joy of watching this stuff, is he walks into situations that otherwise would be very, very different genre-wise, and just starts wrecking things and fucking with our expectations. So I guess the problem here is the devil on one hand was exactly that. He was perfectly played. He was played completely straight too. Whereas our Vindicators, I mean, yeah, it's a fucking it's a million ants. I don't.
And it's Crocobot.
Shrug.
Crocobot.
I think maybe that's the problem. Though. Like, I wanted the Vindicators to be played a little bit more straight than they were when they were obviously like just feel like crazy designs that Justin Roiland came up with. Like, the only ones that felt straight were like the Galaxy Girl and I guess like the Star Soldier guy, and they only lasted.
But even he just got like. And the thing is, he was the first person to die just right out of the chute, which kind of was a funny one-off joke because it was like a 5-minute segment. Let's say a cold open to an episode. But, like, when you're two straight people that are supposed to be pushing this episode through to Rick's crazy drunken insanity, die, and one of them just flat-out dies immediately, it's just, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's still like a really fun, engaging episode of television. I guess like Rick and Morty is just like, I have such a high standard for the show, and like to see like there's so much to lampoon and parody, and and there's a little bit of that in the first one. We did one phase; it was the thing of the summer. It was great. We don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah, I will say that. I mean, this feels a little better than the Get Swifty episode. The problem is it doesn't have the same meme value. I don't feel like you're gonna get a Vindicators t-shirt. No one's gonna be fucking remixing like the Vindicators 80 different times in 80 different genres like they did with Get Swifty.
Yeah.
So that was Get Swifty's redeeming quality, is just how well it took to internet culture. And this is just like, okay, I mean, yeah, it's making fun of Marvel. They kind of tend to poke fun of themselves anyway, so it's not hugely necessary.
Yeah.
Like, Marvel understands that it's campy blockbuster fodder, and that's all they've ever tried to be, with no real pretense of being anything else.
I mean, occasionally they like mold genres, but yeah, they don't take themselves so seriously, which is why the movies are like 80% more fun than everyone else is, and it's kind of like difficult to like take it out of them. But like in terms of like superhero parody, there's like this new South Park game that's like the Fractured Butthole, and the trailer for that, like, to me had like more better superhero skewering than like the entire episode where like Cartman's saying like,
do you mean Fractured Butthole?
Yeah, that's the joke. It's a stupid, dumb, immature thing, just like they always do in South Park.
God.
But they have like South Park. They have like Cartman, like this is the first phase, and then no, Token, you can't come into phase 3. You can only have the black guy in phase 3.
My God,
which is like so sadly, painfully true, because that's only when we're getting Black Panther. So that to me felt like a more biting parody of like the unending paradigm of superhero culture, and it's like I just want more from Dan Harmon. As much as I do enjoy like blackout drunk Rick being the most supreme villain of the universe.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest here. This really does feel more like an animated version of Dan Harmon's "Why I Hate Superheroes" rant.
I completely agree. It was fun to me though, like just to see everything play out the way it did. It was a very simple kind of like idea right from the get-go, and you could see it throughout this whole episode. So it's like, this is why superhero sucks, period. That's the end. I mean, that's the basis of this episode, really.
I guess one of the reasons why I was like so wanted this episode is like, I've talked about this with Scott on an AIM chat, like so everyone loves Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy is great.
The first one.
They're fun. Yeah, people. I mean, the second one's okay, but it's not terrible.
The second one was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But like the problem is that like that interpretation of like the Guardians has become infected everything else. Like, the Telltale Guardians game is like a slightly shittier version of the James Gunn one. And then there's like a Guardians, animated series on fucking Disney, and that's like an even more watered down version of the James Gunn, Guardians of the fucking Galaxy. And then, you have the comics, and they have the exact same lineup as the fucking movie Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're doing the same quippy bullshit 80s song thing, and it's like, this thing has existed for a long fucking time, and there's more shit you can pull than just like quipping on the one thing that works and making, incessantly inferior versions of it, and it drives me insane, and I want someone to like, really kick the shit out of the Guardians of the Galaxy and Peter Quill, and like Dan Harmon, I was hoping you'd be the person to do it. I wanted like fucking Star-Lord and Rick going back and forth like the devil, or the Stephen Colbert alien scientist.
Like an actual Star-Lord like character, like doing his whole like 80s music is the best kind of like
that's what I thought that Rick's whatever the Star Soldier guy was supposed to be. That's what I was like so excited about it, because he felt like he was like cut out of that like Tony Stark, Peter Quill, Star-Lord mold. And like the idea of like just having an entire episode of Rick going back and forth, exchanging one-liners, like oh my god, that would have been so good. Just the episode felt like Dan Harmon giving you like fuck you.
I guess he was just like, I mean, to do something like that, you kind of have to show a little bit of love to the genre as well. I don't think Dan Harmon has a lot of love for the genre.
No, he really doesn't. So, like, this is really just him being bitter and angry. And that's literally all you're gonna get. You can either have like angry satire or like loving, caring satire, and man, you're not gonna get that for superheroes out of Harmon.
Yeah, that's true. Even though he got the Marvel money for like Doctor Strange punch-ups.
Yeah.
I feel like him being inside the machine would give him something more insightful than, Million Ants and Alan Train, and then Million Ants and Alan Train kill each other over the fact that, they're having a fucking X-Men level thing about who slept with Universe Woman.
AKA Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the episode peaked for me when they just showed up and found out that Rick had just murdered the big bad. That was the episode peak.
While in his blackout drunk stage.
Yeah. Now, what I honestly expected out of the series was not the like Saul bullshit where it's just like, I hate superheroes. See how terrible they are. I expected a little something more insightful. Like, what I was really looking forward to, like, okay, cool. Rick forgot his portal gun, and he just murdered the big bad, and basically you have a bunch of goody two-shoes sitting there going, this is actually horrible. You're a bad person. We have to stop you. And then Rick being forced into the role of the next big bad, and basically like gadgeteering his way out, while basically like confronting them.
Fun.
Confronting them on like a moral level, going like, why are you so angry about this? I did literally what you were going to do, and I did it myself. Why are you so angry? Is it because I killed him? Is it how I killed him? Why does that upset you so much? If he's going to destroy the world, what is your problem with me doing it myself, as opposed to all of you coming in and doing it? Where do you draw that line? And just like basically, while fighting his way out,
or holding
forcing them to confront like what they would consider moral issues, like like, well, are you willing to like now fight me in a crowd? Is that okay? You just killed 15 people when you picked up that bus to throw it at me. Is this moral to you? Because I didn't kill anyone except
World Ender
and his minions, but you just killed like 15 people when you missed with that bus.
Yeah, that actually would have been a more engaging storyline, and oh my god, that would have been like, because people always talk about the morality of like the Avengers, or especially Batman versus Superman, and Batman who just murders people and doesn't give a shit and brands criminals, and the Superman who doesn't give a shit about collateral destruction.
Yeah, or like, or what the fuck was his name? Ghost Train. You summon ghost trains, but have you ever actually stopped to wonder about the spirits of the dead you're calling? Do they want to be here?
Yeah, I think that would have like as cute as the saw and like the Israel joke was great. Where it was like, no, I'm perfectly for Israel, and then Million Ants is like, you do you. Like, that was a great punchline.
Oh yeah, like I'm not saying this was a bad episode. It had some good moments, but I kind of wanted more out of what they ended up doing. Is all because Jesus Christ, Saw movies are so fucking tired that it's even tired when people make fun of them.
Yeah. Sometimes though, like,
well, Rick and Morty has done.
It was like
really cheap.
It was a really lazy Saw kind of thing. I didn't even see it as like almost. I didn't really see it as like a Saw parody. It was just like kind of. He just happened to be like, "Oh, I want to put you in a Saw situation because Saw situations can be fun sometimes." I just want to do that. And he's really drunk and stupidly going about it. It was really fun.
Well, here's the big question. Here's the $1 million question, though. Do you guys think that there is any connective tissue between Mr. Poopy Butthole and
Noob?
Yeah, and Noob. Or is it just Justin Roiland likes including these like little thin?
I feel like the characters are actually too similar in some respects.
Well, they're the exact same design. They're like these little shitty pole men, when they both have like these.
I don't know. I mean, there might be something where, like,
this is like a hidden.
Maybe
Easter
they're the
egg
same species, but I don't know.
Maybe there'll be a cliffhanger.
I think he just likes doing that voice.
He does. It's like, like all the smarter and like highbrow stuff is like all Dan Harmon, but like all the sort of like more puerile or like dumb stuff. Like if you go back and you look at like Justin Roiland, because his like Channel 101 pilots that he did with Dan Harmon back in the day, or his other animated stuff. Like he did this like really weird thing for this show called Acceptable TV, where it was basically a parody of like Cat in the Hat with this deranged looking Cat in the Hat. And it just became like, I forget what it was called, but it's like this really freaky Cat in the Hat. But I would recommend both of you go check that out.
And that has the same kind of like voice acting.
Oh yeah, because like Justin Roiland, he does the voice of Morty and Rick and a bunch of other people, and he does that. He loves doing that like squeaky. Oh yeah, oh wee.
Yeah.
God damn! It's an archetype that you see a lot, and like the more surreal elements that feels like that's his creative touch. Although the series feels like it's more like 70% Dan Harmon and 30% Justin Roiland. I'd have to like go to like the DVD extra commentary to like, I don't know, that just from like listening to a bunch of Harmon Town.
Does Dan Harmon do the voice for Rick?
No, only Justin Roiland does.
Oh, so okay. What does he do the voices for? Rick?
Dan Harmon doesn't. I don't think he does any voices. Or maybe he does like a cameo every now and then. But no, Justin Roiland does like a lot of fucking voices.
Huh.
In both Rick and Morty.
But yeah, like I don't know. I also think that I'm never a huge fan of like tons of celebrity voice cameos. Like if you get like a bunch of really good voice actors and cram them in, that's cool. But I've never been a huge fan. It's like we're gonna just cram all of these celebrities in there because then you have to find a place for them.
Well, whatchamacallit, Rick and Morty does a pretty good job. Like, there are a lot of, like, decent, like, well-known actors in this one. Like, there was, like, Lance Henriksen was, like, Ghost Train, Jillian Jacobs from,
Yeah, I know.
And mostly, like, I guess you could say Logic. Like, who the fuck is Logic? I assume he's, like, really popular in the fucking rap community. There was a second I thought he was, like, an imaginary... I thought he was like not a real person. I thought he was just like a made-up rapper that like Rick, this guy named Logic, but apparently he's real.
So I guess each of the Vindicators is like someone famous,
like well known. They all like most of them have like pretty good
Even
respectable actors.
Crockpot?
I don't know about Crockpot.
What about
Most of the Vindicators.
What about Million Ants?
I'd have to double check. I don't know if the Million Ants has anyone famous. All right, so I think we've discussed most of the things. We should get to the scores. What would you give this one?
Oh God.
Let's say 7.5.
Yeah, that's actually what I was struggling with. Somewhere between 7.5 and 8. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
You're more generous. I would just give it a straight 7. Like, I don't know. The premise had like so much
5.5 more generosity.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, it's a big difference. 7.5 is like closer to an 8 than like just 7.
That's true.
That's like 75% of credit versus just like 70. But yeah, like I just feel like there was like a lot of missed opportunities, and as fun as like evil, blackout drunk Rick is fun. Excuse me. He is evil as blackout drunk Rick is. I just want. There was so much more you could do with this premise.
Yeah, there really was. So,
if you actually had an appreciation for some of the hero, for some of the superhero genre, like if you liked Guardians of the Galaxy in some respect, it'd be really fun to see him poke fun at that kind of thing.
Oh, he could work wonders if he cared enough to, but he didn't. He really didn't. He showed as much respect as he has to the superhero genre, which is absolutely fucking none. Which I can appreciate on some level. Like, if Futurama had this episode, I'm sure that I would have said, "Oh my god, this is the best episode of Futurama ever! I can't believe it." Professor Farnsworth got blackout drunk and killed a parody version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's hilarious. But Rick and Morty I hold to a higher standard, and even bad Rick and Morty is still entertaining and enjoyable. But come on, Dan Harmon, you set the bar too high. That's the unfortunate thing for yourself, is that you're procrastinating. Is set me to have a very high expectations for when you tackle something so rich.
Yeah, I gotta agree there.
But next week we're getting a Rick and Jerry adventure, so that'll be.
Oh my god! Seriously?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
That's what the next episode is just Rick and Jerry solo.
Oh Jesus, that is terrifying.
And there's like a great scene in the preview where whatchamacallit, is like Jerry asks like Rick, did Morty put you up to this? Well, maybe. What do you think this was? I don't know, an execution? Wow, you really need a win.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
God, I wonder how Jerry on an adventure would compare to Morty on an adventure. How much more pathetic Jerry would be on an adventure with Rick than Morty on an adventure with Rick. Well,
Morty's not smart, but he's at least very attuned to Rick's eccentricities. The scene with the neutrino bomb where he's too many times.
Yeah, he's trying to disarm.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite moments. And the entire thing, that was fucking awesome.
Too many times, damn it. So, I'm sure that there's still, we've gotten some great material out of the season. I'm sure we'll get a great more. Scott, I think you wanted to introduce a very special message that Rick and Morty has.
Oh, yeah. I believe that Rick and Summer have a little something to say after the events of Charlottesville.
Bitch, please! The only thing you can't steal was came out to play. Stay out my way.
All right, we're just going to insert that in there.
Yep.
What?
All right, the clip is played. Yeah. So there you go. That's very cathartic. The catharsis that we don't get in real life. The catharsis that I think Dan Harmon got from killing superheroes. But that was a great 7 seconds, and it's a great 7 seconds that we should repeat ad nauseum.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that the clip
with this shit going on?
Is that with Summer? Is that the clip with Summer executing the dude?
No, it's Summer and Rick beating the shit out of a fucking neo-Nazi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Greg,
Oh my
you will
God,
not
I
be able to
remember
see this
that
clip,
one.
but like in post, I'm going to add it specifically, like the 7-second clip of just like the X going to give it to you, and Rick and Morty, no, Morty and Summer just
Oh my
Podcast
God, I
video
love
Nazi.
that scene. I love that.
which feels very, very, very relevant.
Like, I did not understand how relevant this would become in like a year, and I'm kind of pissed about it.
It's the ultimate catharsis that we need for, fucking tiki Nazis and their stupid torchlights and bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, so what should we shill on a lighter note? Should we have like an ant farm for million ants?
Oh no, I think I've got this shit. Give me a second here.
Something
What is
superhero
it?
related?
I don't know. I think an ant farm would be.
Hold on. I fucking got this.
All right, yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so go buy the Saw figurine, the Funko Pop Saw figurine, because Saw's coming back, man. Did you know? Like, Jigsaw's been dead for like 5 movies, but they're gonna bring him back this, October, because nothing is dead, because we live in a perpetual, never-ending film cycle where we are just regurgitating the same slop again and again in a cycle that never ends, as we are just forced to eat the same crap again and again and again. So you can enjoy the Saw of Rick, or you know what? Be creative. Like, buy the Funko Pop figurine, rip its head off, and put Rick on there, and then you can carry it around with you, and everyone will think you're like a super genius, really clever. So click on the link below, buy the little Saw thing above, and thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I like your comments, your juicy comments, and remember, lobsters and tennis, don't you grab it.
Lobsters made of lights.